thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the second installment on our Canton Chamber University series of Canton Business Building Bridges. I'm Pamela Batcho. I'm the Membership and Community Engagement Director for the Canton Chamber of Commerce, and I'm proud to be your MC and hostess for today. So thank you to the audience who has joined us. Thank you to our panel members who have come to share their world and their experience with us. The purpose of this series is to unite the business sector with the diverse citizenship population in Canton Township. You may ask why this is important. Well, we believe that all citizens and employees deserve to be seen equally and respected no matter their religious beliefs, national heritage, skin color, or native language. This relates to opportunities both in shopping, housing, religion, observation time, and more. Businesses are missing opportunities to provide goods and services to community members because they just don't understand the buying habits of the diverse groups around holy days and celebrations. Businesses are also being encouraged to welcome visitors by acknowledging their holidays and also accommodating employee needs for worship and celebration during these times. It's our goal that both businesses and individuals will benefit from the mutual education provided by this series. Today, our panel discussion will focus on the Sikh and Muslim communities. Representing both are engaged and involved individuals with diverse backgrounds and experiences. We'll allow them to discuss their individual group holy days, celebrations, and observations, as well as to talk about their personal experiences when doing business and working in Canton. Next, we will ask them questions to bring more understanding to the subjects. Following that, we'll open the floor for questions from the audience. If you have a question for the panel or a comment about your experience, please come to the microphone here at the front of the room. We're happy to share this series, and we're thankful that it's being filmed by the Canton Cable team. It will be preserved on the Canton Chamber's website for viewing at a later date. Now I'd like to ask the two panels to introduce themselves and their citizen group. We'll begin with the Muslim panel.
Hello, my name is Hasina Abdul. I'm from the Muslim community here.
My name is Fatima Marini, and I'm also from the Muslim community here in Canton.
And now the Sikh community. Could you pull your microphones just a little closer? I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, my name is Tej Kiran Singh, known as Sunny Singh also for convenience, and I represent Sikh community.
Good afternoon. My name is Inderjeet Talwar, and I represent the Sikh community of Canton.
Wonderful. We're going to begin some of our sharing time with the Muslim community, and we have arranged for them to be of our first panel because they have some wonderful opportunities and celebrations coming up in the near future, and we wanted to be able to highlight that as much as we can. We're going to try to keep the presentations in a timely manner so that people will be informed about the upcoming events and celebrations. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your experiences, and we'll have some questions.
I like 5 minutes.
Sure.
So we have here in Canton, oops, is it clear? Closer? Okay. We have a large Muslim community, a growing Muslim community in Canton. It's a mix of South Asians, Arabs, from different countries from Africa, Far East, Indonesia, and so on. We have Turkish community. So we have a diverse community. And right now we have 4 mosques in Canton. We have 3 Islamic schools and 3 or 4 Islamic schools in Canton. And regarding holidays, we follow a lunar calendar. So our holidays shift 10 days, around 10 to 10 days every year, okay? So our main holiday is the month of Ramadan, which this year is going to be starting on Monday, March 11th. And it will end on April 10th. Yeah.
9th or 10th.
9th or 10th of April. Every month in the calendar starts with the sighting of the crescent moon, the new moon. And right now we use calculations, and based on calculation, it's going to be Sunday night. The day starts when the sun sets, right? So Sunday night is the beginning of month of Ramadan. what Muslims do in Ramadan, they are supposed to be, there's a time where they reconnect with God. It's a month in which the Holy Quran was revealed, and that's what we believe. We reconnect with the Holy Book. There's a lot of readings, there's a lot of understanding, and then also it's a time for a lot of charity. Many people even, they wait until that month to give charity because we believe it's rewarded much, 10 times, 20 times, depending on when you give it. And and the fasting is also part of that month. So what you will notice that things to observe in terms, if you have employees that are Muslim, we fast from from dawn to sunset. Right now, dawn, sun is rising around 5:50 in the morning. As we go into March, obviously that's going to get earlier and earlier, and sunset is going to get later, okay? And we do not drink, we do not eat during that time. So, and even within Ramadan or outside Ramadan, we do pray 5 times a day. But you will see people getting more religious in Ramadan if they didn't pray. Otherwise, they might start praying that time, okay? So if your employee needs to pray, there are, from the 5 daily prayers, the early morning one, they'll be at home. You don't need to worry about that. But I think depending on the shift that they work, there's a noon prayer which starts around 12:50 p.m. right now. But with daylight saving, it's going to be an hour, it's 1:50 or around 1:30, 1:40. And they have until around 4 p.m. now, and then with daylight saving, 5 p.m. So that prayer they have between 12:30 to 4 or 1:30 to 5 p.m. for them to pray. It only takes 5 minutes to pray. If they're taking more than that, but obviously they have, we have a ritual, a cleansing that, it's just like a little bit of water that you wipe your face, wipe your hands. That takes around 5 minutes, and 5 minutes to pray. So all they need is a clean place and, to pray for 5 minutes. The next prayer that if they work late in the afternoon, there's between 5 p.m. and sunset. That's the next prayer. And if they have a night shift, they have a prayer during sunset time, okay? And then the last prayer they can pray at home. So those are the praying times, and I have it all in a document. If anybody wants, I'm happy to share that. So obviously Ramadan, they have a very early meal. We have a very early meal before the sun rises. So if sun rises at 5:50, we have to have that short, like small meal before 5:50. And we have to break our fast with water and at sunset time. So if they are working at that time, they might need some time, obviously, to kind of freshen up, have something to eat, pray, and then they can continue. If you have meetings, early morning meetings, it's highly recommended, give them a break, start a bit later, because we wake up very early to have this meal, and then you go to work. But Ramadan is not a time that people are supposed to just spend the time sleeping, and that's not an excuse. If somebody asks for too much time, that's also not. It's a balance, right? If they have, but what else? And the Eid is the day we celebrate the end of Ramadan, and that's the day that they might ask time off for the prayer. We usually have a morning prayer that it's around 9 a.m., 8:30, depending on which community, because there's so many communities. Sometimes they pray at 7:30 a.m., sometimes at 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m. And the prayer, usually we rent a hall at either Burton Manor. In the summer, we did at Independence Park. So that will take at least, it's 2 hours for prayers, greeting all your friends and everybody, and it takes that kind of time. But if they have a day off, that will be nice. And so this year it's April 11th or 10th or 11th. What else? We have 2 Eids. So that's Eid, E-I-D. That's the term of that, a holiday that comes every year is called Eid. So this Eid after Ramadan is called Eid al-Fitr, because the Fitr means to break the fast. And then we have an Eid later that is connected to Hajj, the season of pilgrimage, and that's Eid is to celebrate the sacrifices of Prophet Abraham, which we call Ibrahim. And so that's also, that this year is going to be around July, I think, end of June or July. And those are 3 days of festivities. The same thing, there's a prayer in the morning, just like the other Eid, and there's, meeting with friends and so on. So those are the main times. And then in terms of weekly, just like Christians have Sunday, we have Friday, right? So Friday is the time that people pray, go to the mosque to pray at that noon prayer time. Because of the amount of people that we offer at the mosques in Canton, we offer 4 different times. So people can pick between the 12:30 prayer, 1:45, 1 p.m., and 2:15 p.m. Anytime it takes around, by the time you go park and pray, the prayer itself is 5 minutes. There's a sermon for 25, half hour. But like Anne-Marie knows, the parking and getting out of the parking altogether, they might need an hour, depending on where they live or where their work is. So that's for Fridays. Anything else?
I think that covered most of the things. When I thought about coming here, I thought more as a consumer because I don't work anywhere here, but I like to see, like, obviously when you go into places for Easter, for Halloween, for Christmas, for Hanukkah even, there's always decorations. There's never any for Eid or for Ramadan, and I always feel excluded. And I feel like we are a major consumer racket in this community, so I always feel left out. I always feel like I even get like surveys from Sam's Club, and Eid is never an option. Muslim is never an option. So I always feel like very left out. Having halal options in stores would be really nice. I love that Bush's has a halal option. They have a halal counter. That always makes me happy. I'm able to shop there. Also, even in home goods, like decorations, like the whole market now for Ramadan decorations, Eid, has become so much more than when I was younger. And I love that. And I want to be able to walk into one of the stores that I frequent and be able to buy something, and I don't have to go to a specialty store for that. I think like that's mainly been my thing, like being able to see that I'm represented in this community, to feel like I'm seen, I'm valued. Also, there will be a lot of Muslim stores or restaurants here, they'll stay open late during Ramadan because to accommodate for eating that meal at night. So you might see, people out late at night because basically our calendars now are kind of flipped, our times. So we might be out late, you might see kids out, I think like that has to be an awareness as well, that like nobody's out causing trouble, like they're just out getting dessert, like people want to see each other, they want to congregate while they can eat. I think like mostly, and I think also as for employees and for employers, when my son was working in home goods, what was good about him was he was very vocal about needing to pray, needing a prayer break room, but not everybody is. Some people are embarrassed. They think they're going to get fired if they ask for like break time. So I think like it is important for employers to kind of, make it known that, you can ask for these things. Like we're accommodating and we'd like for you to, be able to fulfill your religious obligations. So I think that would make it a much more, welcoming and comfortable situation.
I think having an open dialogue, I think
Yeah.
it helps for everybody. You don't have to wait for them. Just ask what are your needs. And I think the welcoming aspect I had mentioned before. Some stores, I didn't have. Thank God we didn't have any huge. I didn't have any bad experience in Canton, other than some stores where there are people. I noticed. I ask questions. They won't. They won't look at you. They won't acknowledge you. I think it's very important to feel acknowledged. That's something I think if all businesses did, it would make a difference. I stopped going to that store because of the way they interacted with me. Or if they will talk to you, and they'll talk to you as if you don't understand English, right? They'll talk very slowly, things like that. I think it's important that people understand that we've been here, we can speak, right?
That pretty much covers it.
So how can businesses reach out to you as the Muslim community to find out more about how they can be accommodating, both as a business that's offering services and an employer who's offering the proper time for their employees?
You can reach out at mcwsoutreach@gmail.com. So any questions you have for that, mcws outreach@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Are there any particular buying habits or things that you associate with your holiday, such as Ramadan and Eid, that you would be looking specifically for from food or other types of retailers?
Yes. Dates, it's a season where you have like gourmet dates stuffed with nuts, dates covered with chocolate. There's all. So there's people that sell that in time, nice decorations for Ramadan, lights that they use for decoration. And because there's a lot of sharing meals, you'll see every day sometimes people are knocking at your door at the time that it's sunset because they want to share. Because we believe that when you share, we feed somebody the food that they're going to break the fast with, we get the reward of their fast also. So you want to feed somebody that's poor, you want to feed that's your family. So they send sweets, they send a meal. So, even something that is cookies, things like that. Kids make crescent-shaped cookies, crescent-shaped cookies.
Lanterns, things like that.
Lanterns, yeah.
I think like specialty items, most likely people are going to go to their specialty stores for that. Like, I mean, for the most part, they're going to go to the Arab stores or like the Muslim stores, and which is fine, But I think like having a Ramadan special or Eid discount or something like, yeah, that's cool. I want that. I want that 2 for 10, whatever, for Ramadan. Like, why not? I think like that's something that we're kind of looking for, or like the halal options, if they're able to get those things that don't include alcohol or don't have or pork, things that can be specifically bought. Like, okay, yeah, I can buy that cake or I can buy those cookies.
Wonderful. So, well, you did cover how employees can engage with their employers and some of the things that the employers should be aware of so that they can best serve their employees. Every employer hopefully understands that it's easier to keep happy employees than it is to find new ones, especially in this kind of crazy employment day and time. And you've also covered some of the traditions and the reasons why you celebrate and when you celebrate with some of the special needs. So thank you very much. Well, that was wonderful.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
You're welcome. Now to our Sikh panelists. Who will go first? The shyest.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for volunteering me. Basically, Sikh religion, we believe in one God, equality of mankind. Equality means gender equality also, like Indrajit will introduce herself. Indrajit Kaur Talwar. Kaur is her actual religious name. So she does not have to take Singh from her husband. My wife is Kaur. My mother is Kaur, my grandmother Kaur. So in Sikh religion, women are not considered property of a man because they got their own last name. Singhs is our Sikh religion, so 99% Singh will be Sikh, but there are other communities in India which is more Hindu community. Some of them also have Singh, but Kaur is exclusively woman last name, which means princess. And our prophet said they are the princesses of God. Nobody owns them. They were independent. Our baptism is same. The way we get baptized, man and woman, is same. From that point of view, the reason I wear a turban, we do not cut our hair. The philosophy is keeping the identity of the God. All the prophets, the history speaks, they never had the haircut or beard, or they had. So saintly look, but as the prophets were not saint, they suppressed oppression and any evil they tried to kill. Same way is called soldiers also. So you got to have a picture of or a courage of a soldier where you go help the needy, and irrespective of their color, caste, religion, anything. That's not the criteria. Anybody who needs help, he should be there because that's the God. He gives us everything impartially. The fragrance of the flowers or anything is impartial. I smell the same flower same way as anyone. So his impartiality should be engraved in us also. Those are the basic fundamentals of Sikhism at high level, and we know that for our religion we can speak for days, hours, as long as we want the discussion, but keeping it short, precise. Coming to the festivals, we have 10 prophets, so we celebrate their birthdays in our Gurdwara. We celebrate their joining the soul days also, and when they were given that role as the gurus. But it's just internal to us. We cannot have other people to join there. But Vaisakhi, 14th of April, is our main day. That's when our perception is that's the day when our first prophet was born. And again, there are some conflicts always in any community. Some says in November, some says in April. So let's stick with April 14th is our first prophet day, birthday also, Guru Nanak Sahib. And that's the day when our 10th Guru, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, did the baptism. So when we do the baptism, you're follow, like I wear a sword, and thanks to Canton, I can wear it in the school also now, small, very small. It reminds me that I have some obligations. I should be able to sacrifice my life, which will be a passion if it's required to protect somebody else. No adultery at all. I don't eat meat. I don't cut any hair, and no alcohol, no tobacco, nothing. Meditation in the name of the Almighty every day. I should spend some time. Actually, it's like a tenth, so 2 hours some minute, and I don't have to sit down for that. I could be doing that while I'm driving my work. It kind of takes care of a lot of it. 1.5 hour drive gives me a lot of benefit of that, and early morning and evening gives me the 10% of my day. So you follow some principles. Those are the main things. So 14th of April is the Vaisakhi. If you're greeted, there's nothing special we do. Just more meditation, more ceremony at the Gurdwara. Some parties also go, dance parties, which doesn't have any much relevance, but again, our community likes it that way. So some people like to celebrate that way. But it's more focused, should be more focused at the Gurdwaras where we do. And we invite sometimes our local, anybody is welcome to join us at that time for the celebration. And a lot of people in this room have come there at that time to our Gurdwara. The main troubles which I see, I've been part of the Gurdwara management for 14, 15 years. The main issues we had was, one was the girls were forced to go swimming classes in high school. And some girls don't feel comfortable in our community. 2 reasons. One is they are a little shy for whatever reason. Body exposure is not very encouraged. Secondly, long hair, uncut. Like if you see Indrajit, wet hair, it takes like hours for them to dry. And especially in winter, it's not like you come home very late, you want to sleep now, you're tired, but your hair is soaking wet. So a lot of principals acknowledged my letters. I sent tons of letters every time. But sometimes I had to make calls. They were not allowed. So they were forced, either I don't know, whatever else they had to go through. Second is the turban. So the turban versus a helmet has been a major issue at the jobs. So at airport, they do not allow you to wear a turban. You cannot wear a helmet over a turban. Like either design it for us. Hate to say that, we should design. But anyways, turban is big safety. Trust me, you can get a sword, hit me head. It won't go in. And this is solid. It's really 8 meter long cloth. It's not a simple thing. It doesn't fall. Helmet can fall, this won't fall. So I've been writing letters to them that please understand, this is the religious thingy. He cannot wear a helmet, but they were fired. Three kids I know, they were fired because they said, no, you have to wear a turban. We cannot let you work. And they were not doing any mechanics. They were just some small works they had to do close to the airplanes. So that is one thing if somebody can help us with. Today we have turban Sikhs in army, how deadliest it can be in an airport, a job. We have turbans allowed in Air Force, and hopefully soon you will see in Marines also. So, an Indian Army is 85% of us, 85. Every Navy, Army, Air Force, right? Generals have been normally Sikhs in Indian armed forces, turbaned, all turban. If it's not an issue there, any job in India, we wear turban, and even it's a substitute for helmet. Driving in India, you have to wear a helmet, but not for the turban people, right? So please, either give us a valid reason. And the second thing is this kara. We call kara. It's a jointless solid metal. It signifies Almighty. No starting point, no ending point. That's we call Vaheguruji. Some call Allah, Ram, Lord Almighty. So infinity. He's infinity for all of us. That's what it signifies. And he's very strong. So it's a strong kara we wear. But they were asked to take that at so many places, at airport even. Why? What does it bother you? So for whatever reason, you can get tangled, you can get blah, blah. People wear so many other things. Like how about your wedding rings now? Are you going to take them off also? You could be tangled from there. Don't know. So no valid reason, but I had to write so many letters. At especially the airport area, I could not win. So those are the major hurdles, I will say. Everything we love. We love community. The more awareness is coming in the community, people are very friendly with us. Like I walk everywhere, I go everywhere without much problems. Obviously, there are people who do not want to learn, and you can teach them. And we don't have time to teach them, right? And they will be always there in every community, in my community, in any community. You find those kind of people who have their mind shut. They do not want to know who the other people, who's my neighbor, who's my community. So I think we can leave them alone. But majority of the people are very friendly at the stores also. Somebody saying Happy Vaisakhi would be great on close to 14th of April. I will spend a little more money, hopefully. My wife will love that. Obviously, I end up buying for her only, right? We men just need shirt and a pant, and that's it. But I don't think there's much issues overall we have. And I will leave it open to questions.
Well, let's hear from your co-panelists.
Yes.
Thank you. So I think this is a great platform where we can come and kind of give you an idea as to what Sikh women would look like. And so this is a variety where Veerji or my brother said, you'll see women, now I'm seeing more and more of women also wearing turbans. So you will see that young kids in the Plymouth Canton high schools, the girls are wearing turbans because, like he said, we are princesses and we're allowed the crown that was given to us by our founders. So if you see a girl that has a turban on her head, and it could be any color, this color is not a significance of like has to be some color, acknowledge that that is her spiritual level for where she is in her faith. And then you will see younger kids that have like it almost looks like if there's a bun on your head, yes, and they covered with the fabric, which is called patka. So growing up here in Canton, my kids went from all the way from elementary school to now college. We would do a presentation. So if the businesses are seeing a child come in that has a bun on their head that's covered with the fabric, most likely they are a boy. And if they see girls coming and wearing turbans these days, it's okay. It's what they are in their spiritual level. And like we have 5 articles of faith, so you will see majority of the Sikhs, but it's again depends on their spiritual level. So some kids would want to shorten their hair, which is cut their hair, but they still belong to the Sikh faith because where their level of spirituality is, like I was discussing with my co-panels, when they're fasting. There's no fasting in the Sikh faith, so you will not see any business consumer or a student in the schools and all saying that I am fasting, because fasting is not a part of our Sikh faith. However, they have the 5 articles of faith, so you will predominantly see unshorn hair, like I keep my hair open, and then you'll predominantly see beards and turbans, and the article of faith, which is the dagger, or it's a small sword, which is now allowed in schools, and you'll also see a kara, which is again a medal that we wear. So, and it's just be acceptable of that this is part of their faith. And it's an article of faith. It's not meant to cause any harm. It's meant to just give them the remembrance of, yes, you're in this world brought for a purpose to serve others. Because serving the community is a really big deal about the Sikhs. You'll see we want to go everywhere and serve. We want to go everywhere and feed people. So, around the time that you will see us, and we like to party a lot. So you will see in, different events that they are very colorful outfits. You will see at the Heritage Park where we dress up and we have different festivals. So it's very good for businesses to see that, that this is a community that just is spiritual, likes to party, and also likes to take care of others. So if you have an employee who's a Sikh, be please mindful that they will want to wear their turban, and it's up to their spiritual level. So the size of the turban doesn't matter. My two boys who are in college wear a smaller size. My husband wears a bigger size. And some elderly or younger kids do not want to cover their beard. They want to keep their beard open. They don't roll it up. So like you see, Tejkaravirji has a very long beard. It could go up till his waist. Like my husband's beard goes all the way down to his waist, but they roll it up. But some men and young kids now do not want to do that. They want their identity to be just the way it is. So then if they work in the food industry, give them the like you cover your heads with a net, to give them something to cover their beard with a net, So because they're hardworking people, they want to work, but there's certain things that they want to keep as their article of faith. Is all I can request to the businesses here in Canton. Otherwise, it's a beautiful city. It's very diverse, and you'll see everybody from every nationality here. And the Sikhs predominantly are from the Indian subcontinent, I would say. But then you'll always also see Sikhs that are from Canada here, some Sikhs that are from England that have moved here. So, because the Sikh community has been moving all around the world for many decades now, I could say, or centuries.
Centuries.
So definitely.
120, over 100 years in America.
Wow.
So definitely during the Vaisakhi time, you'll see a lot of them with colorful outfits. And sometimes men like to match their turbans to their ladies' outfits. So you might see similar colors.
I do that when I'm with her.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. That's great. I'm going to ask a couple of questions because I have a little bit of inside information. I hear that there are certain celebrations where the focus is on purchasing certain items to use as celebration or as part of what the timing of when you would purchase an item or a large item. Can one of you talk to that?
So yeah, that is not a religious festival. That is like our cultural Diwali, because our background is from India. So it's the religious Hindu festival. But as Sikhs, we same from the same continent as Indrajit, my sister was saying. We celebrate it. It's a festivity. What the heck? Just celebrate it. So yeah, during that, there is you buy that. Obviously, ladies need a chance to buy because a neighbor is getting a new gold thingy. Then, as a Sikh, also I'm obligated to buy for my wife because otherwise it's not good. So, anyways, that is more like a cultural thing. Sikhs, from religious point of view, is nothing. It's their prophet, Hindu prophet, I think, which came, that they should speak about it, right? From Sikh point of view, it's not religious for us. Okay. Yeah, but we celebrate. I celebrate. My neighbor is from Jordan, and I celebrate Eid with them. Happy Eid, they say me, happy Eid. And then when the cars come in the neighborhood, my driveway is open. I rather take my cars out so that their guests can come park in my driveway. And so all 25th of December, I'm so equally excited about Christmas. And I enjoy Christmas with everybody. Even I go to the church, Saint Becket Church, to celebrate it. Easter also, I celebrate with them. Hey, celebration, life is too short. to be able to celebrate. Any good occasion to celebrate, I will go for it. I don't care. But from our point of view, Vaisakhi more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
14th.
Wonderful. Anything else?
No, not really. He said it all.
Okay. Well, I'm thrilled that the school system has embraced, without, I mean, notwithstanding some of the pushing, some of the elements of your faith. And I hope that when individuals from the school board, from the school community, are able to view this, they can understand a little bit more about the different faiths and the different communities and how we are so interconnected. One of the things that I learned through an opportunity with an organization just a few months ago, which actually brought about this particular discussion, is that when you peel back the religion, you peel back the language, you peel back the skin color, on the inside, we're all the same. And we really all want the same thing. We want a happy, peaceful place to live, to raise our family. We want opportunity to succeed, and we want to give and get love. So when we break it down to that, really, where are the barriers? There shouldn't be any. Are there any questions from the audience? If you'd like to come up here to the microphone, that would be great. It's okay.
So what should businesses maybe stock up on? Because usually you have to buy your inventory 6 months ahead of time. So what should they stock up on so for presents? Because I know a lot of your holidays you exchange gifts. So if you could let us know about that.
Sorry.
Well, like we said, with Ramadan, it's an Eid, it changes, it shifts with the calendar, so it's 10 days earlier every year. So businesses would have to kind of research and look and ask, okay, what time is Eid coming this year? But, as long as they know when Ramadan and Eid are coming, then they know to start,
She's asking
Prepare.
what, right?
like what things
What
to
things,
get?
yeah,
Oh,
what-
sorry.
yeah.
I thought you meant like the time frame. What kind of things? I mean, anything basically, like, all the things that we buy all the time.
People
just
gift
the
whatever they want to
gifts.
gift.
Yeah, like,
Clothes, candy. Candy is one thing. That's so. Sometimes when Eid was right after, what's the
Halloween?
Halloween, yeah. So we'll go get the Halloween sales to get the candy. We distribute candy on the day of Eid. There's candy on the day of Eid, but the other than gifts for the kids, whatever you would give for Christmas, like clothes, whatever the kid wants.
Yeah.
To be honest, it depends on each family. There's nothing stipulated that you have to give. It just the action is to exchange gifts. So it could be anything that your kid, your friend would like, friends. And mainly on Eid day, people go out, obviously. There's a lot of eating. I don't know, like we're saying, we eat too much. So there's a lot of eating, yeah. Yeah, but so cakes, if the bakeries, people go out, get cakes from local bakeries. Again, gifting is, like she's saying, if the store acknowledges there's, happy Vaisakhi, happy Ramadan, happy Eid, and there is something, the deal for an Eid deal, or Diwali deal, whatever the deal is, that helps us too, to acknowledge there's something happening. We can also shop, right, with good deals.
And
Otherwise, have to shop at Christmas time for the next round.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of bakeries too, like just having those generic messages on the cakes, happy Ramadan, happy Eid, those make it easy for anybody to go and pick up a cake from the bakery section that, normally you have to have written special, So it's nice. It's just nice when you walk in and you feel acknowledged. And you won't, like he said, you will spend more money in a place that acknowledges you.
And I would, second what they're saying. But if there's an eggless cake opportunity around April 13, that would be very helpful because a lot of young folks bring cakes. And also throughout the year, if the grocery stores or some of the bakeries could have eggless cakes or pastries, that's also big because a lot of some Sikhs will not eat meat, and that includes eggs for them too. So eggless any kind of cookie that says eggless
So
or
vegan?
No,
I mean, not vegan. So milk is okay. Dairy products are okay, but it's just the egg. So I know the holiday market has eggless cakes. If the local grocery stores could have that, that would be awesome. And then cookies that say eggless would be amazing too. So something
yeah,
to
right
do with
now,
that. If
sorry,
they're
yeah.
if you're in the food business, think of an eggless option. That would be good.
Yeah, no, excellent.
That'd be great to have Eid sales for jewelry too. Why not?
of
You
course,
like
yeah.
Seriously,
that's
seriously, I
great.
think any of these festivals,
Yeah.
especially coming from that part of the world, jewelry is always welcome. Like anybody wants to sell, seriously, whether there's a reason or not, just put it happy, and yeah, they will be able to sell, especially that part of the world. So yeah, but from Vasaki point of view, as Indrajit said, um, from that point of view, there's nothing special because we celebrate every day, seriously. Um, but eggless is, yeah, good point. I never thought. At our Gurdwara also, every day there's food. We all know, right? There's in the morning, afternoon. So anything eggless. So we always fight to get the eggless cookies. Right now we just have only one choice, one kind from Indian store only, like Punjabi store, which is fine, but we don't have any variety. So that's all you have. That's all you have. Simple. Same with the cake. Sometimes the kids bring the birthday cake, and at least 30% will people say, did you check it's without, otherwise my kids can't eat it. So while in the school, the, the good decision to celebrate that at a religious place, the birthday, but half the, or 30% people, kids could not even eat it because it had egg in it. So yes, that will be really good. And Holiday Inn is charging very good. You know what I mean? Like, because there's no other competition. So please create a competition so you get a better deal on the cakes and the pastries especially. Yes, that will be good. That's a good, Your Honor.
I think pastries is a good idea, like cookies in the shapes of like Ramadan theme, either crescent moons or lanterns or,
Without gelatin. We don't.
yeah,
take
yeah, no gelatin.
Vegetarian gelatin. Yeah.
Yeah, it
no.
can't be pork, nothing with pork products.
Any other questions? Sure, you can grab another mic. Tap the push button in the center. Green
I don't
light.
think that one works. So I have wait, this one is on, it's just different. I have a question, would you, or your community purchase clothing items, like the turbans or hijabs, or other clothing or traditional jewelry items from stores, small business owners that were not from your communities?
Absolutely,
yes.
they would if it's available.
If it, yeah, and if it was here in Canton, it was closer, you don't have to go out to Dearborn to,
exactly.
a little bit more convenient.
Yes,
That's a great question.
Outstanding, yeah, outstanding
'Cause-
idea though, seriously.
Yeah, because anybody in the Sikh community has to either go to Canada or order
India.
online or get from India. So if they can get fabrics that are softer, we do go to Joanne Fabrics in smaller stores, but if they cater to a softer fabric that is measured in yards and has different colors, absolutely, that would be a good sell for the Sikh community in the Canton area.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a great question. Anyone else have anything? Yes.
Hello, and thank you for a very insightful presentation. What other recommendations would you have for businesses? Because sometimes people are afraid to do things because they don't want to offend. I mean, it's easier for, like with the Muslim faith, avoiding the pork and trying to provide the halal options. But what else can people do? Is placement of certain things or other symbols that might be offensive? Or how best do they go about representing you, but not unintentionally offending you?
That's a great question.
I don't think so, anything, seriously. Again, respect everybody, That's by default, it should be. All of us should respect our fellow humans by default. But yeah, nothing in particular, seriously. Like we don't eat meat, so irrespective, doesn't matter. Like we means few of us, and some eat seriously, and they eat anything and everything. So yeah, if once they start eating meat, there's no to anything. But but yeah, if the people who don't eat, they don't go to the egg even because it's product from a meat, whatever they concept it. So I can't think about anything seriously. That's a good question though. But yeah, nothing offended me so far because I retaliate also. I give it back, so I don't pocket anything. But I'm not the initiator, but I don't bring it home. So I break even.
Okay, I can go next. So my only request would be okay with who they look like. You know, the looks are if you are open to the way they look because that's the way they are practicing their faith. We just you know, you always expect respect, yeah? So if you give them respect, you will get respect. But the only thing is just to acknowledge that what they look is maybe different to than what you're used to seeing everywhere else. But just be conscious of that this is their choice of faith that is making them look that way.
Outstanding. Yep.
There's a few, I just remembered, if you have a meeting, for example, they prefer to have a non-alcoholic kind of environment, okay? If it's like you don't want to have a meeting in a bar, for example. That kind of environment, that's people feel uncomfortable to be in. I mean, if you're in a restaurant and others are drinking, that's a different story. But if you're going to a place where the main thing that's offered there are drinks, those who are more practicing would feel uncomfortable. The other, it's not offensive, it's just a customary that you will see that Muslims do not have physical contact between genders, right? So I would acknowledge Anne-Marie or acknowledge Indrajit and give her a hug, but I wouldn't go give a hug to Sunny or any of the gentlemen in the room. And so it's not and I think sometimes people think it's a Muslim women thing. It's not a women thing. It's if I was a Muslim guy, I also wouldn't go, I'm saying in general, you will see differences just like in every faith. Everybody practices in a different way. But do not feel offended if a Muslim woman does not, if somebody offers their hand to me, I will, because I don't want to offend anybody. So it's not like, it's like eating pork to us. It's not like there's a degrees of what you're allowed and not. But I would prefer not. So I usually just say hi like this. But if somebody extends their hand, I personally, I don't know how to say, I don't want to offend them. But there are people that know how to nicely say, I don't shake hands, right? So that's something to maybe see that happens and not to feel offended by it. Yeah.
And I think like just maybe avoiding, obviously, any caricatures, any stereotypical things. Nobody wants to walk in and see like the stereotypical, what people think Muslims look like on a billboard or something. Or obviously do your research. If you're not, it's not like Happy Ramadan and you're advertising alcohol. Like it just doesn't make sense. So like those kind of things. So it would, just take a little bit of time to make sure that what you're advertising, what you're putting out is in fact, cohesive. But other than that, I would say like for the most part, I think we understand when outreach is genuine and when it feels forced or when it feels, people aren't stupid. Obviously they're more intelligent nowadays. They can see right through certain things. So I think like, don't ever be afraid to try. Don't ever be afraid to, put your best foot forward and hopefully get feedback from your consumers,
And ask. Don't feel bad about asking. I think you'll be happy if you ask. That's don't worry about asking. So I think it's important to understand, and I know many people, I feel bad in the Sikh community, many times they feel they're Muslim because of the turban, and then you get, so understand the differences, it's important to educate yourself.
Wonderful, thank you. Thomas, you had a question?
And this was touched on a bit here, but I think that when we talk about various products or consumables for your communities, is there like a source list or a vendor list if there's specific products? Or even if you mentioned earlier, like decorations, where could businesses go to actually purchase these things? Because I think that's part of just the education of where do you go to source and purchase the items to show that that inclusion as well. So like a vendor list, or even like, pictures of the signage of the various celebrations
We
could
can
be helpful.
share that.
Yeah, I think that would be important for us to be able to look into and then share.
Yeah, I can share that with you.
Wonderful. That's something that we could put on our Canton Chamber website
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, usually trade shows and stuff would have, different vendors that are selling that kind of stuff. So, being a previous business owner, I know I usually would go to a trade show of a certain kind that I wanted to, and everybody's outsourcing stuff from overseas. Yes, so I wish they made more stuff in America so I could buy made in the USA.
Wonderful. Thank you. One quick question from me. I never want to offend. Would it be appropriate to ask, may I give you a hug? May we shake hands? And then I would know how to best approach you the next time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. As long as you're okay if somebody says no.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I did shower, I promise.
I think for the most part, I think the rule of thumb is that there is no interaction with the opposite gender. So I think the default would be that, they're not going to like give a hug or a handshake, but, obviously, yeah, like depending on relationships wise, you can ask,
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add that maybe we didn't touch on today? You've done a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Very welcome for inviting us.
Thank you for being willing to do this initiative and to reach out to people, and it's important, so thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, this is going to conclude this segment. Thanks to all of our panelists again for their participation. And please plan to join us for the next engagement in the Canton Business Building Bridges series. This will take place on April 10th at 2:00 p.m. and will be featuring the Latino and Black community conversations then. We also have future events scheduled through July. May 16th at 1:00 we'll be featuring the Hindu and Christian communities. June 13th at 1:00, the Jewish and APIA, American Pacific Asian communities. And July 18th will be our Learning and Moving Forward panel discussion. So everything that we've learned, we need to be able to do something with. So if you have any ideas, if you'd like to be part of this program, one of the panelists, someone that can help put things together, please don't hesitate to let us know. We thank you again from the Canton Chamber for viewing this Canton Chamber University. I'm going to call it a leadership series because I think everyone here is leading in the right direction. So I'm Pamela Batcho with the Canton Chamber. Thank you very much.